Smart play by Frohoff. The crowd clearly in favor of Frohoff and Luyties as they want to see a comeback. It is 9-4, and they start to make a little bit of a move.
Here, not a great shot. Here's the roll shot. This is how you get it. Brent Frohoff didn't even have to get up out of his beach chair to play that one and decided just to bump the ball deep for the score.
Frohoff has tremendous ball control, as you can see it right there. He can bump a ball right on a line if you probably told him to. That never misses a set.
Not the kind of play that any coach would tell a player to make. A little risky, but that's just Frohoff's style, and that's why the fans are pulling for him.
Okay, we get back to action here in Santa Cruz. Huge crowd on hand. They love the Cuervo Gold Crown coming to the beach every year, main beach here. Now that is hit out by Dodd and Powers, so maybe a little too casual here. And just like that, it's 9-5 and a game to 11.
Got to put a team away when you have the advantage. And right now, Mike Dodd, Pat Powers starting to show some chinks in their armor in terms of ball control. Bad set that time previously by Mike Dodd. And now Pat Powers drops his arm a little bit off the top of the tape, out of bounds. And Frohoff and Luyties are getting right back in this thing. Now Luyties got to serve this ball deep, and he does. Powers can't go on two.
And it's blocked by Luyties, and it's in. That's what they've needed, is that big block by Luyties. They got it there, and they'll change sides 9-7.
Ricky Luyties has blocked 2 balls. When he played with Adam Johnson, they were winning because he blocked 6 or 7. This time against Mike Dodd, taking away the cross court for the straight down score.
We'll be back to Santa Cruz with more in just a moment. Back to Santa Cruz, Cuervo Gold Crown, the battle for second and third. The winner moves into the final. And Dodd and Powers have let their comfortable lead slip away. They lead now 9-7.
Well, they were scoring all their points early on in this match because of errors by Luyties and Frohoff. Luyties and Frohoff have dug down and settled down and are playing good volleyball now.
It's a game to 11. The winner will earn the right to play for the championship against Mike Whitmarsh and Brian Lewis. And the longer that these two teams are out here, the better Lewis and Whitmarsh like it, because they're in the shade somewhere.
Mike Whitmarsh are sitting in the back in the shade in the players' tent, sipping on some Avion, and the grins are expanding on their lips. And so are the grins on the faces of Brent Frohoff and Ricky Luyties. Another unforced error by Pat Powers. He just lost his concentration, and this is a very experienced, mature player. Surprised to see him go down like this. 4 unforced errors, 4 points.
9-8 now. The crowd also has given a team a lift. 9-9, and the crowd is going crazy.
Frohoff and Luyties were dead and buried. Mike Dodd and Pat Powers, I think, lost their edge a little bit, but you really have to give tremendous credit to Frohoff and Luyties. Brent Frohoff's played defense. He's been able to side out, and Ricky Luyties blocking enough balls to put some fear into Dodd and Powers, who call a timeout.
You're allowed 2 timeouts, 3 stand timeouts in this game, and I was just going to say, Powers and Dodd have got to think this over and stop this momentum, and they do call a timeout. Let's take a look at how the players are doing this year for the money. On the top 10 list, Brent Frohoff in 10th place has won a little more than $67,000. His former partner, Mike Whitmarsh, right with him. Mike Dodd having a pretty good year, but certainly looks like he's going to move up today a lot in 8th place. Adam Johnson, and then you go down to 5th and 6th, Randy Stoklos and St. John Smith. It's unusual not to see them up in the top 1, 2, or 3rd spot. Pat Powers having an excellent year in 4th. And Brian Lewis, who teamed with Pat Powers to win the Cuervo Gold Crown in Clearwater. And then, of course, the top 2 guys, Kent Steffes and Karch Kirai. Kirai would be tied with Steffes probably, but Kirai got a late start due to playing volleyball indoors in Italy. Powers and Dodd started with a 5-0 lead, led 7-1 in the game to 11, then 9-4, and now with 5 unanswered points, we are tied at 9. 56 seconds left on the rally clock. At this point, not a factor since we're tied, but it could be. Dodd trips in the sand, and 10-9 now. 6 straight points for Frohoff and Luyties.
Remember, I mentioned that Brent Frohoff had not been serving his jumper with real gusto. Now he's fired up, and the crowd behind him was the key. When they were way down 7-1, the crowd behind him started screaming and yelling for Fro to light it up, and he has done exactly that. What a tremendous comeback.
And Dodd and Powers used their second and final timeout. Fall earlier this week, Pier 39 in San Francisco became a beach when 40 amateurs... Not a bad idea, though. Go for it.
Pat Powers got a very scary jump serve because he would even tell you that 80% of the time he doesn't know where it's going, which really makes it tough on the receivers. Frohoff serving for the match and a chance for the finals.
It's out. It's hit out. And Luyties and Frohoff come back to win it. Amazing comeback. Down 9-4. They score 7 straight points and win it 11-9. Powers and Dodd are in disbelief. Luyties and Frohoff are on a roll as they move into the final here to play Mike Whitmarsh and Brian Lewis for the first place in the Cuervo Gold Crown. $100,000 to the winning team. And we're ready to go. Game to 15. Win by 2.
Hey, come on, throw.
And Frohoff and Luyties take off where they left off with their great momentum in overcoming Dodd and Powers in the last game and get the first point.
Came back from the dead in our semifinal against Mike Dodd and Pat Powers. Brent Frohoff keying the comeback with his jump serving, good defense, gets the first point on the board in the final.
Great set by Frohoff, and it's 2-0. So the strategy is set. Frohoff will serve Whitmarsh. Luyties will block on Whitmarsh, and so far it's worked according to their game plan.
Mike Whitmarsh, still a very inexperienced player for someone who's had so much success. Has won a Pro Beach event, but was a basketball player professionally in Europe up until 4 short years ago when he came out on tour, and has been playing great volleyball.
Extra hit, 4th hit. It was blocked and therefore had to go over and did not. So there were 4 hits. That's a side out. Surprised to see Frohoff. Maybe he missed the serve when he served it to Brian Lewis.
Yeah, got to go back to Mike Whitmarsh. You scored a couple of points, carried your semifinal momentum right over to the beginning of the finals. Service mistake by Brent Frohoff.
Big hit by Luyties for a side out. Ricky Luyties, 30 years old, 6'5", and you always have to look at him twice to say, is that guy as big as he looks? Yes, he is.
Ricky Luyties is maybe the best package in terms of physicality out on the Pro Beach Tour. 6'5", very strong, great technique as a setter.
Another point, 3-0. And Whitmarsh and Lewis look a little sluggish. They've been resting a long time waiting for this championship match. They had the best record in the round-robin format. 6 out of 7 games they won.
3 digs by Brent Frohoff, 3 points on the board. Ricky Luyties must feel very confident right now in his one-on-one matchup against Mike Whitmarsh.
Could be 4-0. And it is 4-0. And Whitmarsh and Lewis are not getting untracked at all.
Looking like a timeout necessary for Whitmarsh and Lewis, but Brent Frohoff here slicing off the angle. And if Frohoff digs the ball, Ricky Luyties, remember an All-American setter at UCLA, dishes the ball perfectly up to the net. Good opportunities, good percentages to score.
This is just a tremendous turnout. At this time, I want to give you guys a round of
So the players towel off. There should be no fatigue factor. And this is very typical, though, in volleyball. When you're out there playing all day, once you stop and rest and get in the shade for an hour or more, you come back out and you just don't have that same jump and bounce in your game that you had previously, and they've lost it for now.
Well, Mike Whitmarsh and Brian Lewis beat their opponents right now, Brent Frohoff and Ricky Luyties, in the round robin. 10-6, play games to 10. But right now, Frohoff and Luyties, different team, gotten up off the mat in the semifinals, have been just gunning ever since.
Oh, Frohoff has a hit right to him, and he doesn't like the fact that he didn't get that up cleanly. He will probably get that four out of 5 times.
Got to make that dig, go to the 5-0 lead, change sides with lots of momentum. Ricky Luyties taking up a lot of space at the net right now. Good opportunities for Frohoff to dig around him.
Nice shot by Ricky Luyties off the big Mike Whitmarsh block.
Brent Frohoff really is calling shots well for his partner, Ricky Luyties, setting the ball very high, then immediately looks at the defense. You could hear him that time say loop or line. Easy side out for Luyties.
Great serve by Frohoff. Oh, Frohoff hitting it over, and it drops in. Lewis could have hit it, and he's going to kick the ball out, and he gets... That's a point. That's a red card. That's going to be a point. We saw this in the Cuervo Gold Crown in Boulder.
It should be 6-0 now. It was 5-0 on the score by Frohoff. Should be another point. Kicking the ball outside the playing area. It is 6-0 on the side change.
It is. You are correct. Jim Leonard, our referee, holds up the card, and it is 6-0. So a rout in the making? We'll find out when we come back.
Going back to their semifinal victory over Pat Powers and Mike Dodd.
I think to compound their problems for Lewis and Whitmarsh, there is not much wind out here, so there's no good-bad side in that regard. But they are now looking directly west. This beach sets up funny. It sets up east-west. Most beaches in California, of course, are north-south. And they're looking into the sun. And in 2, Brent Frohoff easily puts it away.
Luyties and Frohoff look like the best team on the beach, and they are indeed today, but the best team we've seen play for a long time since they were down 9-2.
Luyties looking for his first win of the year. What a time to look for. And Whitmarsh starting to loosen up. I think he did a smart thing. Took the T-shirt off. Warm up out there.
Yeah, but, you know, how can you come out mentally slow in a match of so much importance? I think Mike Whitmarsh, realizing what a big tournament this was, just was a little bit tight at the start and didn't come out playing particularly well. Unforced error this time on Ricky Luyties, and he has been known to do that. Mike Whitmarsh, a big blocker. Luyties and Frohoff have to stay sharp and not allow Whitmarsh and Lewis to creep back into this match. Exactly what they did in the semifinals against Powers and Dodd.
Over.
2 in a row hit out by Luyties. There is no touch on the block, according to Jim Leonard, our referee. So it is 6-2, so don't go away.
Luyties can't get tentative. He's still got a substantial lead. Mike Whitmarsh, a big, excellent blocker, but you have to challenge. Right now, he's trying to just avoid the block.
That was touched. That is a side out. So 3 in a row he hit out. The final one was touched a little bit on the block.
All kinds of court open for Ricky Luyties.
Yeah.
Brian Lewis is over covering line. Mike Whitmarsh is blocking. All kinds of line for him to shoot into. He just made a couple of unforced mental errors that have gotten Brian Lewis and Mike Whitmarsh back in the match.
Brent Frohoff standing in at 6-3. Nice angle by big 6'7" Mike Whitmarsh. He's playing with little Louie. Brian stands in at 6'1". By volleyball standards, short.
Very, very small right now, but he plays big. Very strong, never has to block. The key for Brian Lewis is he's got a great jump serve right here, and he's an outstanding hitter. As long as you can hit and jump serve, play good defense, you'll be effective even at 6'1" out on the tour.
It is interesting that the strategy for both of these teams in the early going is to serve the big, tall guy. They are serving Whitmarsh, and Luyties is receiving the serves for his team.
And in the semifinals, Brent Frohoff got about 80% of the serves. They went on and won. But right now, it's big guy versus big guy. Who's going to last? Who's going to block the most balls? But most importantly, who's going to pass the ball well of the big guys, Mike Whitmarsh or Ricky Luyties, so that their partners can set the ball well and they can side out.
Whitmarsh, 30 years old, stands in at 6'7". Most of his athletic career has been spent in basketball, a late bloomer on the beach. He's blocked it, but it goes out. so that is a side out. Most of these players, as you well know, grew up in Southern California, playing on the beach every day.
Brent Frohoff has done an excellent job switching from his more comfortable right side over to the left. A lot of people think, hey, both sides are the same, the net's the same height, but the mechanics are different, the shots are different. He's made a very good adjustment over to the left side, accommodating Ricky Luyties.
Come on, go!
And now I get the feeling that Whitmarsh and Lewis are starting to settle in, siding out pretty comfortably. They just came out very slow and sluggish.
Well, those two balls that Ricky Luyties hit out, where all they had to do was serve the ball in the court to get on the scoreboard not once but twice, has given Lewis and Whitmarsh new life.
Right there, Reese. Hit. Blue, go, get out!
Oh, the ball was dug out of the sand. Nice dink by Brent Frohoff, and we're settling down now into an even contest here.
Brian Lewis serving the ball tough here. Now, Mike Whitmarsh really doesn't communicate well. He's just dropping off, but too late. Brian Lewis, not sure where Mike Whitmarsh was going to drop to defensively on the fake block, had the entire court to cover.
Got to go over. It does. The ball is hit long by Brian Lewis.
Can never let a ball drop. Ricky Luyties with a nice block. Plays it twice in a row. That's okay. The blocker can make the second contact. And then Frohoff hustling, keeping the ball in play. Unforced error by Brian Lewis.
7-2, stand timeout called by Lewis and Whitmarsh. They're allowed 4 stand timeouts in this game, 2 lengthy timeouts, and they use one of the quick stand timeouts right here. It gives us this opportunity to tell you that the Cuervo Gold Crown 92 Series is sanctioned by the Association of Volleyball Professionals, the governing body for pro beach volleyball. You're watching the Cuervo Gold Crown 92 from Santa Cruz, California. We'll be right back. And they love their beach volleyball. A lot of people coming over from the San Jose, San Francisco area, too, for the wonderful weather. Bump set by Luyties. Dug by Lewis. Oh, Frohoff cannot get it out. Exciting point. I don't know how smart the points are being played, but it's exciting.
That's a very good point. There were a couple of opportunities within that rally for a team to take control, and Frohoff actually was not trying to dig that ball. He was trying to shoot Whitmarsh and Lewis on one, and may well have cost his team a very important point in the 8-2 side change.
Nice hit there by Frohoff. I get the feeling you are implying that Frohoff sometimes tries the more difficult and tricky play when he doesn't need to.
That's just his style. Yeah. You know, a lot of coaches and other players would look out there and go, what is he doing? But that's just his personality. A little bit of a rebel, and so far it's working for him quite well in pursuit of $100,000 first prize.
It's blocked by Luyties. There's that wall we talked about that 6'5", strong, long arm Ricky Luyties can put up.
Ricky Luyties, as I said, has the complete package. When he was winning last year with Adam Johnson, it was because of this, getting way up and over the net, stuffing balls for points.
It'll also be a little bit of endurance on the big guys, Luyties and Whitmarsh. They played a round-robin format earlier in the day, but they were short games to 10, so they should be in good enough shape to play a good, long, hard one here. We'll see. No block. The ball is hit out. Easy point.
Another unforced error. Whitmarsh and Lewis have 3 points on the board, I believe. The scoreboard still reads 8-2. It should read 8-3, should it not? And all 3 points by Whitmarsh and Lewis have been scored on hitting errors by either Brent Frohoff or Ricky Luyties.
Timeout. It'll be serving 3.
That is 8-3. They'll update the scoreboard here momentarily.
Brent Frohoff comes right back. Ricky Luyties with a good set. Look, Mike Whitmarsh is way wide, taking away the line. Brian Lewis covered with sweat, knowing he doesn't have a chance staying out of the sand.
Hit line!
One arm dig by Frohoff. What's he going to do with it? Down the line. Nice shot by Frohoff.
Just great communication between both Brent Frohoff and Ricky Luyties. Frohoff with a nice dig. Luyties chasing down with a bump set, but then took the extra step, the extra effort to communicate with his partner, Brent Frohoff, the open shot.
And it's 9-3, and I was just going to say, it's starting to get to be a little bit critical time here for Whitmarsh and Lewis, and they do take a brief timeout. 8 of the best teams on the men's tour competing here this weekend. Let's take a look and see how they did. In 8th place, Rusty Dvorak and his partner, Doug Faust. In 7th, Brian Gatsky and Jeff Rogers. In 6th, Robert Chavez and Chris Young with a good tournament. In 5th, Tim Hovland and Adam Johnson. And the number 1 seeded team, a disappointing and surprising 4th for Karch Karai and Kent Steffes. 2nd week in a row, they don't finish very high. And of course, Pat Powers and Mike Dodd finished 3rd when they lost the game to go into the finals, and the winner of this will finish 1st, and the other team will be 2nd. Conspicuous by their absence, Randy Stoklos and St. John Smith.
Suspended this week by the Association of Volleyball Professionals for participating in an unsanctioned event in Spain, held after the Olympic Games. Nothing unsanctioned about that stuff block, but Smith and Stoklos suspended from this week's competition.
And Frohoff, who has 1 first-place victory this year, is getting closer to his 2nd one.
A partner everybody wanted, Ricky Luyties, because he can block, set the ball. When he plays with consistency, he's absolutely among the best.
Come on, go! Right there.
Frohoff reading it, making it look easy as Whitmarsh is hitting it right to the defense every time.
I tell you, Frohoff isn't even having to make any difficult digs. He is just reading the shot defensively and is there, passing the free ball and then just running good conversion plays off the setting of Ricky Luyties.
And Brian Lewis sitting there in the sand is thinking, we've got to change. We've got to come up with some strategy. Of course, there's not a whole lot, as you said, Brian Lewis can do, because Whitmarsh is getting every serve, so he has to pass, he has to make the hit.
That's why I made the point about Brian Lewis has to score with his jump serve. It's the only place when he can really have an impact on this match, and once again, every serve going to Mike Whitmarsh.
Nice hit. Whitmarsh really pounded that one off of the block of Luyties. It's 11-3. Frohoff and Luyties in front.
This is what Whitmarsh must do, challenge the block.
All right, Brian Lewis with that great right arm of his, very loose, and can really whip it. Cranks the serve, good pass by Luyties. But he hits it out. Luyties trying to turn and make the hardest hit in volleyball away from your body, hits it out. So the players will change sides. Luyties and Frohoff in front here, 11-4.
So much for being steady. Another unforced error. Every point that Lewis and Whitmarsh have scored has been on an unforced hitting error by Ricky Luyties or Brent Frohoff, and that one an ugly variety cutting into the bottom of the net.
11-5. Until it's blocked. Oh, the crowd likes nothing better than a big hit, and they got it that time from Luyties.
Luyties wants this win. He came up through the ranks. He won a tournament with Karch Karai years ago. Not all the AVP players were there. They say, Ricky, you really haven't won one on your own. Then he won one with Mike Dodd, and then he got with Adam Johnson and won several big tournaments, including the USA Championships. But off to such a bad start this year, important for him to reestablish. And now with this new partnership of Brent Frohoff, he's doing a great job out here at the Cuervo.
12-5 is the score now. And Whitmarsh knows every serve is coming to him, and I guess that adds to the pressure because he knows down 12-5, he's got to play better than he is. Oh, that ball may have been going out. In any event, it was touched, and that's a side out.
But that's what Mike Whitmarsh must do the remainder of this match if they're going to come back. No more little shots. You've got to challenge Ricky Luyties all the time, for at least a long period of time. Get some confidence, get back in a rhythm of siding out, and then move the ball around again. Serving very, very easily.
Bingo.
Oh, there's that height you're talking about. He tipped it in on the basketball court.
reaching way back and tipping that ball.
Yeah, he could have dunked that one.
Now watch Mike Whitmarsh, 6'7", gets down and look at his head up over the net, waits, and then just flips it down. Got to serve Ricky Luyties tougher. He's not a great passer. You must make him move.
Oh, Luyties again with another hitting error, and they get a couple points. 12-7 they come back.
Here they come. This is just the comeback tournament. Once again, Frohoff and Luyties down, almost dead in the semifinals. Come storming back, and here come Whitmarsh and Lewis.
Line. Come on, go!
Got to hit it. Oh, he just dinks it. And Frohoff misses. 12-8. And now the crowd's starting to get behind Whitmarsh and Lewis a little bit. Sensing we've got a contest here at 12-8 by Whitmarsh.
That big time stuff by Mike Whitmarsh. May be a basketball player for the most part, but is learning his trade very well. Watch him jump way into the cross court, reaching, stuffing that angle, getting a piece of Brent Frohoff on the way down.
Blocked, but it goes out. But in any event, they got a couple points. We're back at 12-9 now.
Frohoff and Luyties, I think, have gotten tentative. Maybe thinking about that huge payday, that they were on their way, and just are not as aggressive, not communicating quite as crisply as early in this match. Need to reestablish themselves.
Good up by Frohoff. It's hit out, though, by Frohoff. Oh, he'll think about that one for a while.
Write that one down. As much effort as Whitmarsh and Lewis have made to come back in this match, and as many mistakes as Frohoff and Luyties have made to let them back in, this play right here may well have been championship point, I think, psychologically. If Frohoff scores there against Whitmarsh, may be over.
Lewis trying the left corner. Whitmarsh in the net on the touch, so that's a side out.
But you can see Brian Lewis getting very clued in as to where Ricky Luyties is going offensively, much as Brent Frohoff was earlier in the match against his adversary, Mike Whitmarsh. Lewis in the neighborhood now on every defensive chance.
Nice shot by Whitmarsh that time. Side out.
Frohoff and Luyties have to serve Mike Whitmarsh tough. Right now, they're really playing conservatively. They want to be very careful to serve him, and they've been very successful. They've served him every time in this match, but you have to move him in and out, short back to the lines. They're serving him too easy right now.
It's blocked by Whitmarsh. Oh, he seems like he's really going up high now.
Just patrolling the net right now. You remember the one tip in, as you called it? That really got him started blocking the ball. Mike Whitmarsh is big, he's intimidating, and right now making all the right moves, and Ricky Luyties hitting the ball into his outside hand. Another look, Mike Whitmarsh just getting up and over, and Ricky Luyties at 6'5" with nowhere to go.
Coming back to live action, it's a side out. However, just like that, Frohoff and Luyties have had their lead trimmed, which was once at 12-5 to 12-10. Game to 15, win by 2.
Good.
Nice hit by Whitmarsh, putting a little power on it.
Whitmarsh has really gotten tough. Playing with the Sox, was very fatigued last week in the heat of Seal Beach. It is very hot here today. You can see the Sox there protecting his feet from the sand, but we're a couple of 100 miles farther north and the weather in the 70s instead of in the 90s, and he's really upped the level of his play, started siding out extremely well.
Nice shot by Brent Frohoff. We have the rally clock going, 4 minutes and 29 seconds left, so it may not be a factor in this game. If for some reason it expires, the team that leads at the time that it runs to 0 will win it.
Whitmarsh is slicing and dicing.
Can't do wrong.
He got in a good rhythm siding out. Hit the ball for a period of time. Now he's very, very confident moving the ball around. He's a new player.
And Whitmarsh rips off the sock. As the sun starts to go down, the sand is cooling off.
Mike Whitmarsh giving the signals behind his back, working with his partner, Brian Lewis. Who to serve, what shot to take, angle or line.
It's blocked. Another point for Lewis and Whitmarsh. That's 6 unanswered points.
4 stuff blocks now for Mike Whitmarsh. Here's the play again. Look at him, broad jump into the cross court. I'm not sure that ball ever cleared. We'll give him the stuff block. But if Luyties lobbed that ball down the line, Brian Lewis was standing right there, and now a timeout for Frohoff and Luyties. Maybe overdue.
Luyties and Frohoff lead it 12-11 here. They had at one time a 12-5 lead. And let's look one more time to see if, in fact, it was a block or he just hit it into the tape.
Watch Mike Whitmarsh setting up straight, then jumping way into the cross court. Look at him, head, armpits over the net. Does get a piece of that ball.
He did, yeah.
And that's what I talked about, giving signals. With that play, Mike Whitmarsh is going to dramatically jump into the cross court.
It's on the line. Frohoff could have passed it. He let it go, and that's 7 straight points now for Whitmarsh and Lewis, and we're tied at 12. We'll be back with more in just a minute. Whitmarsh's luck runs out, and Frohoff is all over it, and he converts. 13-12, Frohoff and Luyties jump back in front. They get off of that 12. They were stuck there forever, it seemed like to them, and they now lead here 13-12 in Santa Cruz. Over 14-12 now. Frohoff with a couple key plays.
Mike Whitmarsh withstood the heat on the court, and the pressure for a long, long period of time. But 2 out of the last 3 serves, he's been unable to side out. And Frohoff and Luyties are to championship point.
Crowd cheering here on Main Beach in Santa Cruz for their favorite players. Ricky Luyties at championship point puts it in play. Lewis takes it and hits it right off the head of Ricky Luyties. Takes his hat off, right?
Takes his hat off, tried to take his head off. But this has to be in the category of bonehead serves. Mike Whitmarsh has been scored upon 2 out of the last 3 plays, coming out of the timeout, and they serve Brian Lewis. That was a serving mistake by Luyties and Frohoff. Got to keep the pressure on Whitmarsh there.
12 serving 14.
Line.
It's blocked.
Mike Whitmarsh continues to patrol with good results now. 5 stuff blocks. Most of those coming against Ricky Luyties. The line call is there, but Luyties hits the ball so low to the tape that Mike Whitmarsh able to reach out and stuff him.
Tied out by Luyties. So it's still championship point, although it's a little closer now at 14-13.
Brent Frohoff right here loves to take chances. He's going to rip a jump serve at Mike Whitmarsh.
It's Dodd, but I don't think Luyties will get it. Ooh, Frohoff had it, kind of handcuffed him.
Yeah, that was championship point right there. Ricky Luyties had been the good traffic cop. Take away the line, direct Mike Whitmarsh cross court at Brent Frohoff. Frohoff was down low. The ball caught him up in the chest area. He couldn't make the dig. $78,000 difference between first and second place.
Brian Lewis just out of position. Tough break there. Nice shot by Luyties.
Yep, and under an awful lot of duress.
Third championship point. Oh, cannot be run down by Brent Frohoff. So, Whitmarsh and Lewis hang in there. They're talking it over. Who are we going to serve? What are we going to do? It's blocked, but it goes out, and Lewis cannot get it. Championship point now for the fourth time. 14 serving 13.
Mike Whitmarsh has received 28 serves. Brian Lewis, only 2.
Frohoff serving for his second one of the year. Down the line, Whitmarsh, another side out.
And ironically, he won his first tournament with Mike Whitmarsh, who he now faces across the net. They beat Karch-Kurai and Ken Stefferson San Antonio sometime in early May.
Brian Lewis, who has just one win this year, the Cuervo Gold Crown in Clearwater. He will serve 13, serving 14. Luyties just went for the big hard hit, and it worked. Championship point for the 5th time.
Ricky Luyties is at his best when he lets his physical talent take over. Just hit the ball, do the things, take advantage of the gifts that have been given to him.
And you know where the serve's going. Yep. Oh, I almost didn't take it. It's Dodd. This could be it. It is. Ricky Luyties gets his first win of the year. Frohoff is second. What a team. And the fireworks have started here on Main Beach. Fireworks out on the bay here in Santa Cruz. Brent Frohoff and Ricky Luyties with a big lead early, and they let it go away. They led 12-5. And then Whitmarsh and Lewis come back to tie it at 12. And then finally, Frohoff and Luyties win it 15-13 as the fireworks continue out in the bay. We'll be back to talk to the winners right after this.